Hello, everybody. It's me, Dawg Knight, on a Tuesday, ready to rock and roll. Yes, the big news of the day is the Impeachment 2.0. The unprecedented. Wait a minute. What did I call it? Unprecedented. I don't know if you caught that little pun in my title today, but yes, in fact, it's so. I don't know if I'd say it's insignificant. I mean, they want to make this to be this is a made-for-TV movie, but it's definitely it seems to be a bit of a waste of time, and we'll get into that a little bit. But the news media is just ecstatic because they have something to talk about, and when it relates to Trump, they get ratings. See, after this is over. Their ratings are going to go back to going into the tank because, Trump was part of their profit center. If you saw my video the other day, when did I put that video out? 2 days ago? If you saw my new video, go watch it. The idea that unity is the media's kryptonite. Conflict is its profit center. Well, the profit center is going to be going strong today and tomorrow and the next day. I think they've got 3 days. They get both. Each side, or no, I think last time the arguments for impeachment, I think they gave them 24 hours. This one they're only giving them 16, so it'll be like 2 days of 4 hours twice a day or some shit like that. And then the president's team gets to come in and I don't know. It's just a shit show, and it's just a made-for-TV movie, and it's just it's a show trial. It's one of those Soviet show trials. Nothing's gonna happen here. They're not gonna get 2/3 to remove a president from office who's already no longer in office, and there's no Supreme Court justice presiding over it because Donald Trump is a private citizen now. And so I don't get why they're even continuing with it, but they want to do their damnedest to damage the bad orange man. So we'll get into that after the intro. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. All right, and stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I am your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet, and welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel. Today is Tuesday, the 9th of February, 2021. I am ecstatic that you've joined me today. Looks like got quite a few people in the chat already. Got a lot of people watching. A couple lurkers, couple people just watching in the background or listening while they're at work. I appreciate every single one of you, including the people who watch on the replay. Today, the first trial of the year, so to speak, the impeachment trial in the United States Senate of Donald John Trump. And it's a load of crap. If you ask me, the single article of impeachment stating that Donald Trump incited an insurrection, that he attempted a coup. Doesn't say that in the paperwork, but that's what they're calling it. They're calling it an attempted coup. When this shit was planned ahead of time by other people that are not named Donald John Trump, and Donald John Trump probably has, at least if it were a court of law, which they seem to be wanting to push this to after this fake impeachment bullshit. It's going to be thrown out in a court of law too if they try it. Because again, there are plenty of precedent in law, that including a 9-0 Supreme Court decision in the past that tells me they've got nowhere to go. Tell me what movie that's from. I've got nowhere to go. Somebody's got to know this one. Anyway, so we're going to get into that. There's a bunch of other news. I got all kinds of tabs open. But let's say good morning to everybody first, because, that's what I do. And now, Uncle Stepdad got here really, really early this morning. In fact, he got here before I changed my mind of what the topic was going to be. And it's funny because, oh, by the way, Uncle Stepdad, if you're still here, you get the bell. All right, good morning. Because originally I was going to talk about Sheila Jackson Lee's gun restriction bill, which if you've read anything about it, it's clearly unconstitutional. But she's pushing forward. It'll probably pass the House. Some people in the Senate probably won't. It probably will never pass the Senate either. There's enough gun rights Democrats. I know that sounds weird, doesn't it? But there are a couple. And all you need is a couple gun rights senators to make this bill go away. Plus, I think some people are going to realize that what she's trying to do has already been struck down in so many ways by the Supreme Court, it ain't happening. But when I thought about talking about that this morning, I even had the thumbnail, even had her picture before I changed it this morning. It dawned on me today is impeachment day. Now, some people are probably thrilled about that idea that Donald Trump there's a chance Donald Trump might get his reckoning, or wrecking, so to speak. And so I had to change it up. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot all about impeachment. That's how significant it was in my mind. So anyway, all right. Also, good morning to Zach Osborne, who was talking in Chinese to a Chinese sock account. I don't know what that's all about. Also, good morning, Maddie, my news chick. She's got the coffee ready. I have the what I got here. Oh, the hot Arnold Palmer. I'm kind of digging that after yesterday. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. So, that is great. Also, good morning to Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Who's in the house. Also, good morning, CNN Sucks, the most redundant name on the internet. Good morning, Jonathan Peterson, Chicago Mike, who's going to be listening afterwards. He had to go to work, so he's going to listen to the replay, and I'm sure he'll leave a comment in the comment section like he often does. Good morning, Mike Savage, Blarg. Also, good morning, Jesse Leon, Select a Boy.
Yeah, boy.
Good morning, Chadwick Dupree, known as Dammit Chadwick in the Chad. Good morning, Green Badger Outdoors. Teresa the Kid, howdy. Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadian to ride. Deos, nice to see you again. Also, good morning to Cracker Rob, what's up? He says, I'm waiting for the call to impeach Andrew Jackson. After all, he promoted the use of guns and owned slaves. Yeah, which president are they going to try to impeach after the fact later? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Oh no, Johnny Hellcat, I feel so bad. I did not change the thing today. But anyway, Johnny Hellcat, first donation of the day. And I'm going to fix that now, even though I can't. I don't know if I can. If I do it again, hang on a second. Let me see if this works. I've never tried this. Let me see if this works. All right, we're going to redo that. Clear that. Then we're going to do this. Besides, if Jack Cochran's watching for the first few minutes, he gets to see a picture of his girlfriend dancing on the screen. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. By the way, you
are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
With the $4.99 through Streamlabs, says they're going after the perks of being a retired president. I guess being impeached removes the ability to receive the benefits. Well, I don't even know if that's the case. I'm not sure that is the case. I know there's a hint that it might cause him to lose like a Secret Service protection, and Biden's already trying to strip him of foreign foreign policy alerts or national security alerts. which, I'm sure Trump cares. And then also like the retirement salary that the president gets and whatnot. I don't know. The only thing they really want, their only true purpose is they want to strip him of the ability to run again because they probably can't beat him. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? All right, real quick, I'll say hi to Zach Osborne with who did a donation through Streamlabs. Thank you, sir. That Sheila Jackson Lee bill was a freaking insane, almost as insane as the argument I had on Twitter with the Chinese troll. We're going to have to hear about that one later. But Zach had a little bout with a troll this morning. And, that's weird. Oh, I see. It doesn't show up after $2. All right. Let's keep going here. Good morning. And I said good morning to Cracker Rob. I don't know if they're going to try to, okay, I got an idea. While I'm saying good morning to everybody in the chat, tell me which presidents from the past do you think should be impeached? Or do you think, now the woke mob is probably going to would try to impeach all of the ones that own slaves. So Washington, Adams, Jefferson, and so on. But which ones would they try to impeach from the past? Like they could have impeached Nixon. They didn't do it after the fact. He resigned because he'd already resigned. Anyway, good morning, Aaron Meredith. Good morning, James PFP. Also, Zablu is in the house. Good morning, Anil N, Tyler F, Somnambul Nation. I said it slow enough that I said it right also. Good morning, too. Why are you so angry? Johnny Hellcat. Sean is here. Who else we got? Advocatus Diablo, the Devil's Advocate. Sapphire Dragon, Cynical Lindsay. I just saw some. Oh, Shaitan's Advocate. So I have the Devil's Advocate and Shaitan's Advocate. Good morning, Cindy Rochelle. Hi to Hig in the background. Also, there's Uncle Stepdad again. You're still here. Good. Hate Camel, what's up? I said Sapphire Dragon, read Bad Doors. Am I missing anybody? F and Meiji, how you doing? Bastard Beast, welcome back. It's nice to see your name on the board again. Scotty Dubs, what's happened? Septus Wolf. So we got some people that are possible post facto impeachment cases. I saw Grover Cleveland. They would have to do it twice, wouldn't they? I don't even know how that works. Oh, Lucifer Never Changes. How you doing? Nice to see you back. Okay. All right. So there's a bunch of names in here. So Grover Cleveland, I'm not sure why. Lincoln. Well, Lincoln, I mean, if you look, Lincoln freed the slaves. He did some mean things with the Indians though. And he kind of went a little unconstitutional there for a bit, but I don't know that they would. I don't know if you could get that one through. Nixon, sure. FDR and LBJ, they would shoot for Reagan. Probably the Democrats certainly would. Which, for what reason? Who knows? Anyway, any Republican really. Washington, FDR for sure. Obama. None of them. They're all private citizens, not sitting presidents. Well, most of them are dead too, so you can't do it to not let them run again, and you can't do it to kick them out of office. Nor could they get any benefits. So what would the point be of impeaching a dead president? I don't know. I don't know if I can even say those two words in succession. I wonder if YouTube's going to get me for that. Anyway, Obama, no, let's see. James A. Garfield. Well, there you go. Good morning, Ozan, by the way. Nice to see you. Spidey Man, what's up? Justin Anderson. That's a new Justin. Well, not a new Justin. It's a different Justin Anderson. Nice to have you back. All right. So, you do it to erase history. Well, they would, some of them, they're trying. They're trying to go all. What's that book? 1984. They're trying to go all 1984 on us and get rid of history. Now, mostly right now, it's the Confederate statues. Good morning, Moon-based radio. You say Taft. Is it Howard Taft, the big guy? And when I say the big guy, he was a big man. I have no great affinity, for example, for the Confederate statues that at one point I wouldn't say littered the South, just popped up all over the South. Because, granted, that side lost, but I don't have any problem with them standing because they are still a part of history. And after they do all the Confederacy statues, then they go after the non-Confederate statue, which they've been doing. And even like in Wisconsin, they had they destroyed the statue that had something to do with women's rights. So that some of these people are so stupid, they're just tearing down shit because it's there, thinking it has something to do with white supremacy.
You're fucking a white man!
And it just doesn't make any sense. Look, I want to know the history, warts and all. We're in the middle of Black History Month, right? And in fact, there was a statue. There was a statue. What the hell was that one statue they got torn down? It was a statue of a black man. They tore down. Now, maybe they're just stupid. Maybe they don't realize it was who it was or whatever. But it's like, the history is important, and whether you like it or not. When the Taliban was blowing up all those Buddhas over there in Afghanistan, it's like, that was tragedy, no matter what they think of those things. So who knows? I don't know. Just crazy. Hell, I remember when they tore down it was the Frederick Douglass statue. Why? That's just dumb. All right, let's get into some of the news. Obviously, the big news today is the Donald Trump impeachment trial that is about to begin this afternoon. Here's This is CNN story on the old trial here. Donald Trump impeachment trial. Now the reason I pulled up 3 mainstream media articles because I just wanted to hear the tone of these articles, and I wanted to show you the assumptions that the mainstream media articles make, because it's very interesting how they write these articles. Donald Trump's impeachment trial set to rock Washington and echo through the ages. They are just or should it be, I really can't decide. It's been about 22. White supremacy is a misnomer. Every person I talk to that is white identitarian essentially just wants to be left alone and acknowledge that whites aren't the best in every category. Think if even in I always chuckle because I saw another thing about wage gap. I know this is a tangent, but and good morning, Noble Valor. I noticed, every time people talk about like wage gaps, right? I saw another chart the other day about wage gaps, right? And they always, they used average like white male income, and that's your 100%, right? When they're 100%, and then they go to white women 80 whatever percent, and then they go, and black women 67%, and Hispanic women 63%, and the white men are always the 100% people. But there's a problem there because the average, and first of all, you can't even to try to compare a full demographic by average income is stupid anyway, because there's obviously highs and lows in every demographic. But I digress. They always use white men as the 100%, right? Except there's a problem. the white men aren't the highest earning people around. I mean, there's few categories that earn more than white men. Obviously, I think the top is Asian men. And we're talking East Asian versus Indian, not, call center, not casino Indians. They're like second. You know who else on average earns more than white men? Nigerian immigrants who are what? There's some black people who earn more than white men? Whoa. But they always have white men as 100%. So what is the Asians, like 112%? The Indians 108%? The Nigerians 104%? You know what I mean? So why do they always have white men as the top percent? Oh, but yeah, Asian is the new white. I know, they don't count. No, not feathers. I like saying call centers, not casinos, because I just think that's funny. Because dot feathers has been around for so long, I made up something new. There you go. By the way, thank you, Maddie, for the $2 in Streamlabs. It says, you have to learn all the history. Erasing the parts that make you uncomfortable will make it easier to repeat the same horrid mistakes. Learning history helps us prevent that, even though it doesn't seem to be working right now. Oh, isn't that the truth? Thank you, Maddie. Also, again, it's showing Zach Osborne as the Streamlabs Super Donor of the Day, but Johnny Hellcat is actually it right now. But that's okay. So anyway, here let's listen to the language of this. This is CNN article. Donald Trump's impeachment set to rock Washington and echo through the ages. The simple question posed by Donald Trump's second impeachment trial that begins Tuesday is whether listen, now this is an analysis, this isn't a straight news story, but still listen. Whether a president who loses a re-election can get away with a violent coup attempt in a desperate bid to stay in power. Oh my goodness. How they listen to the assumption. Oh, so this analysis has already decided that the president attempted a violent coup in an attempt to stay in power. Does that mean that that's what it is? So that's a pretty interesting assumption for a news organization to make, because you have to decide, is there any okay, so what's the evidence that the president attempted a violent coup in a desperate bid to stay in power? Or was he just pointing out some, discrepancies that he thought he saw? But so if it were a violent coup attempt, wouldn't that be him orchestrating it just out of curiosity? That's just weird. Thank you, Zach Osborne. So says, Streamlabs, what? I heard my name. Oh, I was just saying I hadn't reset the Superstar Donor of the Day, so Johnny Hellcat, even though Zach's name's up there, Johnny Hellcat is still the Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day. Anyway, that first sentence, I mean, right off the bat, it's like, okay, this is our bias, or my bias. The answer contained in the former commanders-in-chief's likely acquittal for inciting a deadly mob assault on the Capitol. Again, he did it, but he's going to be acquitted anyway, according to this article, will echo through generations and may influence the outcome of some unknowable future test of U.S. democracy. But more contemporary concerns that do not depend on the verdict of the Senate trial, like the consistent cowardice of Republicans who refuse to hold Trump to account, and the effect of the evidence on the American public, are also hugely consequential since they will shape the modern political age. So this person is already convicted him in his mind when, incitement is a very specific thing. Events of the next week or so will inform the country's capacity to move on from the traumatic presidency. Again, I'm not traumatized by Trump's presidency, and I'm a black man in America. I'm not. His traumatic presidency that left it as divided as any time since the Civil War. Really? You don't think the country was divided before Trump got into office? You don't think the country was divided before Trump got into office? Mind blown, man. And the predictable partisan fallout unleashed by a trial unfolding inside of an 8-foot-high fence around the Capitol amid fears of more violence. Yeah, unfounded. What are they expecting? Do they really think there's going to be a new mob? That again, the whole show of the, now I know why they put the fences up in Portland when they were attacking the federal building there, right? Because there were riots every night for 6 months. Has there been any indication that there's going to be a big crowd of people coming back to come to the Capitol building? Or was that was a one-off event? But they're leaving that shit up because they're afraid. They thought maybe on Inauguration Day. No, it's a mind game. Anyway, the trial will begin just a month after a now infamous day when Trump greeted a huge crowd in Washington already primed for revolt by his weeks of false claims of election fraud. I guess we'll see if some of these cases that are still pending go forward. The subsequent invasion of the U.S. Capitol during a joint session of Congress to certify Biden's election victory led to 5 deaths. Now we're finding out that officer that died didn't have any blunt force trauma, so he died of something else that they're not telling us about. Now it could have been related to that. It could have been stress related or something, but we know that it wasn't because of blunt force trauma. So we know he didn't get hit by a fire extinguisher like they've been trying to tell you. We know that for a fact now. And then the other deaths, well, one was killed by police and 3 had natural events happen to them. But anyway, and saw Trump fans parading unimpeded through the halls of the iconic building as lawmakers fled to safety. By arguing that the trial is unconstitutional politically. See, it is. Let me finish this paragraph. By arguing that the trial is unconstitutional, politically motivated, and an infringement of his free speech rights, Trump's defense will resurface a core theme of his tenure that a president is all-powerful and immune from censure for anti-democratic behavior rooted in a volcanic autocratic temperament?
Wow.
Here's the problem. Look, the problem is they would try him criminally if that's really what was happening. And they know they can't. They know it's useless to do that. Wow, man. And his volcanic autocratic temperament. Huh. I was thinking about that because, this is that whole dictator thing they like to say all the time. And the idea that Donald Trump is a dictator. Good morning, Thomas Cleaver. How you doing? Good morning, Wikipedia snippet. The idea that Trump is a dictator. Why did he just cancel the election if that were the case? If he was such an autocrat, if he's such a dictator, why he could have just canceled the election then, right? Just postpone the election indefinitely because of COVID or something. He could have come up with a COVID excuse not to have an election. Did he do that? Nah. Good morning, Mr. Yes. How you doing? So anyways, this is so funny. Now, granted, it is labeled analysis by Stephen Collinson, so this is not straight news from CNN, but this is the CNN edit. This could have been written by Jake Tapper, or Chris Cuomo. Well, Chris Cuomo's illiterate, so he could have written this. How about, or any number. Anderson Cooper could have written this. You know what I mean? Anyway, that means there's little chance of a 2/3 majority to convict Trump among 100 senators who will serve as jurors in the chamber that became a crime scene to which many of them were witnesses. But the Democratic House impeachment managers will argue that if whipping up a rebellion against a peaceful transfer of U.S. power is not an impeachable offense, nothing is. The problem, it's not even that. If that's what he had done, but that's not what he did. Good Lord. Thank you, Zach Osborne, for another Streamlabs donation. And Zach Osborne,
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
Zach says, how dare people think this election was anything other than legitimate? Excuse me, we're putting cardboard up in the windows so none of y'all can see in here for your protection. Yeah, just like Time Magazine, the Time Magazine article, how they rigged the election to protect democracy. Yeah, we haven't gone through that article yet. I've got a couple stories on it, but they did that. They did it so they could protect democracy. They cheated so they could protect democracy. They put their thumb on the scales so they could protect democracy. Hell yeah. Now, let's see. The prosecution case will unveil evidence of the horror unfolding in the Capitol that will make clear that the U.S. political system was forced right to the brink. No, it wasn't. That's what's funny about this. Look, all those people in the Capitol building, what did they do once they got inside? What did they do? Okay. Did they keep trying to go farther and farther through the tunnels and try to find people and all that stuff? Or did they just dick around and take a bunch of silly photos in places where they did not belong and they should be arrested and charged with those things? But what did they do once they got inside the building? They mostly took a bunch of selfies. It was the smartphone insurrection, right? Anyway, the horror, the horror unfolding. While the managers will likely fail to secure a prohibition on Trump serving in federal office in the future, they hope to so damn him in public perception that a political comeback in 2024 will be impossible. Well, if Joe Biden keeps doing the shit he's doing, it's going to be pretty damn easy because they're going to want anybody but Biden Harris in the office. But anyway, let's see, video of Trump declaring. Now, the other thing too, listen to this. Video of Trump declaring to an angry crowd he had called to Washington on January 6th, quote, "If you don't fight like hell, we're not going to have a country anymore," followed by clips of rioters shouting, "Fight for Trump," as they smash their way into the Capitol will have a powerful effect. Yeah, if they selectively edit video, like they like to complain about all the time, and put things in different light of context, and sure they will. It'll be very powerful. I bet you none of the Democratic managers, they did mention it in the in their brief, though, that Trump said, go over and peacefully and patriotically voice your opinion. But, he did say, yeah, fight like hell. Yep. He said fight. If you don't fight like hell, I'll bet you I could find 100 clips of Democrats all over the country saying that. If you don't fight like hell, we're going to fight like hell for our election and shit. Anyway. They will also make uncomfortable viewing for the GOP senators who spent 4 years ignoring Trump's lawless conduct. 4 years of Trump's lawless conduct. Can you give me an example there, Mr. whatever your name is writing this article? Trump's lawless conduct for 4 years? His lawless conduct for 4 years. Now, what's fascinating too, I noticed during lawless conduct over the last 4 years. I don't have any examples that I can think of. Now, I know they want to talk Russia, right? I know, because the phone call to Ukraine, right? But, that whatever. Lawless conduct. Interesting. Thank you, Zach Osborne, with another Streamlabs donation. Thank you. Bro, I'm in Pennsylvania. That stuff they did in Philadelphia, that was not normal. I've been here for Obama 08 and Obama 12 and Trump 16. They never paused counting. I'm just saying they never paused before. No, they didn't. Thank you very much, by the way. And, the crowd really likes that one. Well, that's awesome. Thank you, Zach Osborne. What's weird, isn't it weird that every place where they needed to make up votes because they were behind all those swing states that they were behind it, every single one of them paused. That's the weird thing. It's not just in Philadelphia they paused. They paused in Atlanta. They paused in Arizona. Not Arizona. Did they pause in Arizona? I don't know if they did. I know they did in Wisconsin. They did it in Michigan. All these places where there's just all of a sudden they got a whole bunch of Democrat votes at once. They just happened to pause. All of those states happened to pause at around the same time of night. That's just. I know it sounds like a conspiracy theory, right? Sounds like a conspiracy theory, but it's just too much of a coincidence. Good morning, infamous one. Devil Spawn always fight like hell. Hell yeah, they do. Let me continue. Oh my God. But I'm still real. GOP senators who spent 4 years ignoring Trump's lawless conduct. That's a curious statement. That's a very curious statement. Because again, he did things through the Congress as much as he could, and he found legal ways to get around certain things. But I'm really confused by that 4 years of lawless conduct. Anyway, the price to be paid for deserting an ex-president who still dominates his party is being demonstrated by the backlash directed at 10 Republicans who voted to impeach in the House. The trial, however it ends, will mark an extraordinary and appropriate capstone to the most divisive presidency in American history. Yeah, it could be. It wasn't divisive necessarily because of the president himself. Hi, Patrice Ripley, my official Morning Night Live K-pop aficionado. Patrice Ripley is in the house. Hello, my friend. It was divisive because of the people who didn't like Trump, not because of the people who like Trump, or because of Trump himself. Although, he always, one thing Trump did that a lot of Republican presidents in the past weren't very good at is fighting back. And Trump's style, not exactly my style, but you can't say that he let people walk all over him. Anyway, at a moment of acute national crisis amid a pandemic, in the middle of a pandemic, an economic disaster exacerbated by Trump's neglected office. This whole he didn't respond to the pandemic bullshit too. Sorry, did I swear? I suppose it's time for me to swear. I'm pretty sure on Friday when Gothics is here, we probably will be swearing much more than I normally do on this show because Gothics said she, doesn't. She's always wary about swearing. I said you can swear on my show. By the way, Gothics will be here Friday. This whole amid a pandemic and economic disaster exacerbated by Trump's neglected office. Well, how so? It wasn't Trump who was suggesting that we open things back up in places, whatnot. Anyway. Thank you again, Zach Osborne, for another donation to Streamlabs. You've been very, very generous today. Thank you, sir. I just so happened to drive across the state of Pennsylvania in October. I attended a wedding near Philly. Everyone I talked to was voting Trump. We took 322 back. I counted 8 Biden signs. 322 goes through the heart of Pennsylvania. Come on, man. Driving across Pennsylvania. 320 signs. You took 322 back. That's a highway. Thank you. 8 signs all the way through the heart of Pennsylvania. Yeah, the whole middle of Pennsylvania was voting for Trump. I'm pretty sure anyone who has anything to do with the oil industry, fracking, pipelines, or anything like that are really regretting if they didn't vote for Trump right now. Thank you again, Zach Osborne. Appreciate it. Let's see. His neglect in office. A trial will open the window in Americans' bitterly fractured unity. Bitterly fractured unity? UNITY. You mean like, how Bruce Springsteen's unity? Anyway, I'm not going to go into that again. Even after his presidency ended, Washington is under siege from extremism. What? Trump's trashing of truth with false claims of election fraud and unhinged conspiracies that show the fight to save U.S. democracy did not end on Inauguration Day. It's possible a handful of Senate Republicans will emulate Utah's Senator Mitt Romney. Well, there's their first mistake. The only member of his party to vote to convict Trump in his first trial. And Republican Representative Adam Kinzinger of Illinois, who voted to impeach Trump, wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post Monday encouraging Senate Republicans to vote to convict Trump, saying it's necessary to save America from going further down a sad, dangerous road. Well, yeah, it's funny. That's probably the only time that 8 Biden signs. That's crazy. The whole state. Okay, hang on. Let me finish this sentence about Kinzinger. Yeah, it's funny that oh my God, the Washington Post published an op-ed by a Republican. Oh, of course it was to bash Trump. That's perfect. That's kind of the thing that I saw when we were driving up to we drove up northern Minnesota twice this year. We went once to go to the North Shore of Lake Superior, and then we also went northwest to for our friend's cabin over the 4th of July weekend. And once you left the Twin Cities, Trump signs everywhere. That's it. I think I saw one Biden sign. I actually did 3 times. We also drove to Hibbing. And only saw a few signs for Biden and Hibbing. It was all Trump signs in Hibbing, all Trump signs in northern Minnesota. The 4th of July boat parade on the lake, the 2 different lakes where we saw boat parades, half the boats were flying Trump flags. There, all the signs in there. And then, wait a minute. Excuse me. And even in Duluth, I mean, in the northern, like the hoity-toity where all the professors live, there were some Biden signs. But as soon as you left Duluth, going north up the Highway 61 on the North Shore, it was Trump signs everywhere. It was crazy. All right. And I'm talking about a state where the DFL, aka the Democrat Farmer Labor Party, has dominated for years and years and years, particularly up north in the Iron Range area. And remember, there were six Iron Range mayors that all had a joint statement endorsing Trump for president. Well, because he got the mines were running again. It's just, I laugh because I just saw a report, was it yesterday or the day before? Kind of an autopsy on Trump's campaign and, what happened. And talking about demographic groups. And it was weird because everyone says, oh, we got to thank black women for saving America, for getting people to vote for Trump, or not for Joe Biden and not Trump, and getting people out to vote. Every demographic, like you would think that wouldn't vote for Trump, he improved on among black men, among black women, about Hispanics, among Jewish people, among women. He improved in every demographic category except one. Guess what that was?
You're fucking a white male!
White men. He lost ground with white men. Well, and the dead, of course. Yes, you're right. He had the dead vote, In fact, what happened here? Oh, there it is.
I see dead people.
Yeah, he did lose ground among dead people. But, so, and, guess what? Those union guys that end up, heeing and hawing and thinking Biden would be great for them, and now they're losing their jobs on the Dakota Pipeline and some oil companies. Congratulations, white men. You got Joe Biden elected. Congratulations. Anyway, Trump is convinced he will be acquitted. His own concerns about accountability are confined to Republicans such as Representative Liz Cheney, who ignored his personality cult and voted to impeach, sources told CNN's Jim Acosta. Yay! But the balmy luxury in his Florida results, the ex-president turned down a Democratic request to testify in his own defense. A factor that House impeachment managers will use to bolster legal arguments condemning them. You would think lawyers would know better. That's so terrible. Thank you, Zach, who says, with another Streamlabs donation, sure thing, Haas, believe that. Let's move on. We all know what the hell happened. Wait, I'm not sure what you mean there. Put it in the regular chat. Streamlabs bot keeps smothering my chats. Oh, really? Oh, because you have some in a row here. Duluth, the home of the infamous Duluth model. Ew. Yeah, I know. I don't believe Biden won Pennsylvania. I really don't. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to read the rest of this. You can read the rest of this for yourself, because I want to go back. I want to move on to the NBC article. So, and now here's theirs now. Trump's second impeachment trial to kick off Tuesday. Let's see, move this a little bit so you can see it better. A second impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump kicks off Tuesday afternoon as senators began debating procedural and constitutional questions before starting opening arguments the next day. At 1 p.m. Eastern Time, the Senate will convene to pass an organizing resolution dictating the structure of the trial. 4 hours of argument over the constitutionality of proceedings against a former president by the House managers and Trump's lawyers will follow, while 45 Republicans voted last month in favor of a measure that argued the proceedings were unconstitutional. Some of those senators said they simply wanted to the debate on the issue, so their vote may not indicate how they view the issue. After the arguments on constitutionality, the Senate will vote on whether to proceed, a measure that needs only a simple majority and is expected to pass. That will set the stage for the start Wednesday of consideration of the article of the incitement of insurrection article of impeachment. Trump is the first president to be impeached twice by the House, and he'll be the first former president to be put on trial in the Senate. The first former president. Yeah, because oh, whatever. He was impeached most recently by the House of Representatives on January 13th for his role in the violent riot by a pro-Trump mob at the U.S. Capitol earlier that month, as if he had a role. Opening arguments are expected to begin at noon Wednesday, with the House managers going first, followed by the attorneys for the president. Each side will have 16 hours to make their presentations, a shorter amount of the time than the 24 hours allotted for the first trial and then President Clinton's impeachment trial. Maybe because there's, well, I don't get that either, because there's only one article. Anyway, and then it just talks about the expectation. Let's see. Yeah, there's just a little bit about the strategy. All right, so that's their article. Then there's the MSNBC article, but this is more about how the GOP is split over Trump. But the two wings aren't that different, as the Senate takes up the Donald Trump impeachment trial with little optimism among Democrats that the short list of Republicans open to breaking with the former president will grow. Our NBC News poll from January showed that there is indeed an even split in the GOP between those more loyal to the party and those more loyal to Trump. Interesting. Thank you, Zach Osborne. Isn't it quite convenient that the House expelled What's-Her-Face from her committee duties and they're looking at others? What is her face? I forget. Oh, MTG? Yeah. It's fascinating. You know, I wonder, I'm fascinated by that the other party can do that. And it makes me wonder what's going to be their criteria for doing that in the future with other representatives of the other party. I don't know. Anyway, thank you again, Zach, for the donation. Also, thank you, Thomas Cleaver, with a what's his name? Jackson? With a Jackson, soon to be a Tubman. And Thomas Cleaver,
you are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
It is a message-free donation, but I greatly appreciate your generosity, and thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Oh, wait. Oh, no, you know what? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Thank you. What's her face? Marjorie Taylor Greene. Is that who you're talking about? Yeah, that. And she's, she's a bit of a goof, but you know what? I don't know. I don't know if you've been paying attention, because I decided to follow her on Twitter just out of curiosity. And I really don't know if they really want this woman to have this much time in her hands, because she's just roasting people now. So it's interesting to watch, and it's going to be interesting to see how long they just going to put her on a committee just to shut her the hell up. But I also wonder how long, let's say her constituency, which likes her very much, she won by 70, she got 75% of the vote in her district, and she has an 85% approval rating in her district. When they reelect her, are they going to make this a permanent thing with the non-committee assignments? Are they going to permanently ban her from being on a committee, or is it just this temporary? Because remember, here's the problem with what they did. They didn't ban her from committee assignments for something she did while in Congress, although they did try to pin that whole thing with what's her name, Cori Bush, even though Cori Bush's staff attacked her. But oh, my girl, you just put my girl up on the board. That's, I like that woman. Anyway, that thing with Cori Bush's staff started. There's video evidence that MTG, or whatever the hell her name is, didn't start that shit. Okay, so I don't know. Real quick, thank you, Select Boy, with the super chat through YouTube. Says today on. Oh, let me do this in the appropriate voice. I should have. I need to start having some music ready for stuff like this. Today, on Days of Our Capital, let the impeachment circus begin. Thank you very much, Select a Boy. I appreciate the donation. Also, thank you, Zach Osborne, with the Jackson, aka a Tubman, aka thank you, sir, and Zach Osborne.
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
And he says, and his message is, I am the Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day. Screw everyone else. Well, thank you very much. That's very generous of you today, my friend. I appreciate it. That is funny. Everyone just pick, here, hang on. All right, everyone pick up your cup, your bottle, your whatever you got that has liquid in it, and we'll just do a cheers to the donors and to the people in the chat today. Thank you so much. That's so funny. All right, so anyway, do I really want to read the rest of this article? Oh, so anyway, among those who they say consider themselves foremost supportive of the party rather than the former president, just 16% disapprove of Trump's job performance. Just 19% say Trump was solely or mainly responsible for the events on January 6th. Just 7% say they regretted their vote for Trump. Just 12% support his impeachment and removal. That's an NBC poll taken his final days in office. Sure, the Trump wing of the party is far less conflicted about any of this. In fact, more than 40% of Trump-supporting Republicans say the events on January 6th reinforced their vote for him. And no, it didn't. No, it didn't. That's bullshit. I want to hear exactly what the question was. Anyway, and just 1% that Trump bore any significant responsibility for the attack on the Capitol. I'd say he didn't. So there you go. Hi, Hig. How you doing? I know I saw Cindy earlier, but and also good morning, Lord Stanhope. Nice to see you. You got Dangle by IV to you. Got Southern Comfort. I got Vod. Got Cuddy Sark. Damn, you are. What time of day is it where you are, Zach? I'm just curious. Anyway, I have no idea why I did this. Let's move on because it's almost 10 o'clock and I got to get through a lot of more tabs. 10 o'clock my time, I should say. All right, 7% regret their vote. I wonder how many are just that naive. But hello, Check Your Logic. How you doing? I saw you earlier and I failed to say good morning. There you are up there. Okay, cool. All right, let's go here. Let's skip this. Now there's a couple good articles about this. If impeaching Trump is about preventing him from holding future office, why is Democrat Alcee Hastings so powerful in the House? Remember, Alcee Hastings, was he impeached? He's an impeached judge. He's an impeached federal judge, and yet he holds federal office. So I don't think impeachment. Well, anyway. To hear Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats explain why they're still hell-bent on impeaching Donald Trump despite the fact that he's no longer president, they say it's about what he might do in the future. She and the Democratic caucus wants to make sure he doesn't hold office again. The media picks up that part of the story very frequently. However, here's their little take. In nearly daily meetings, Democratic impeachment managers and lawyers have been discussing how to make their case to the nearly divided Senate, focusing on 17 Republicans required to convict Trump and the desire to bar him from seeking office in the future. The vote to bar Trump from holding any elected office would require a simple majority following a vote to convict from 2/3 of the Senate. Emphasis was added. Everyone knows they're not going to get the votes to convict, which makes the vote over holding future office moot. But it's not even altogether clear that if they did convict, they could hold Trump from holding federal office again. As evidence, I give you Alcee Hastings. Hastings was appointed as a federal judge in 1979. In 1981, he was accused of soliciting bribes and obstructing justice in the trial of an associate. In 1981, a federal grand jury indicted Judge Alcee Hastings, appointed to the federal district court in 1979, along with his friend William A. Borders, a Washington, D.C. lawyer. Hastings was charged with conspiracy and obstruction of justice for soliciting a $150,000 bribe in return for reducing the sentences of two mob-connected felons convicted in Hastings' court. A year after Borders was convicted of conspiracy, the result of an FBI sting effort, Hastings' case came before the criminal court. Despite Borders' conviction, the fact that Hastings had indeed reduced the sentences of two felons, he was acquitted in criminal court in 1983 and returned to the judicial post. Subsequently, suspicions arose that Hastings had lied and falsified evidence during the trial. In order to obtain an acquittal, a special committee of the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals began a new probe into the Hastings case. The resulting 3-year investigation ended with the panel concluding that Hastings did indeed commit perjury, tamper with evidence, and conspire to gain financially by accepting bribes. The panel recommended further action to the U.S. Judicial Conference, which in turn informed the House of Representatives on March 17, 1987, that Judge Alcee Hastings should be impeached and removed from office. Hillary's entered the chat. Where? What? Say what? He was impeached by the United States House of Representatives and convicted by the Senate. He was kicked out of his judgeship in 1989. So what happened after Hastings' shameful episode in which he was convicted of serious criminal corruption in office? Was he tossed out of polite society, never to be heard from again? Did the Democrats shun him and prevent him from ever holding federal office again? Sadly, nope. 4 years later, he ran for the U.S. House, a federal office from Florida, and he won, joined the House Democratic Caucus, and is still in the House to this very day. So to recap, Hastings had a federal office. He was a federal judge appointed by President Jimmy Carter and confirmed by the Senate. He was impeached and convicted on serious and substantiated charges of public corruption, and he was removed from office. The Democrats pretend Hastings was never impeached and have no problem counting him among their number ever since he won his House seat in 1993, going on 28 years now. He's not just a rank-and-file member. Hastings is one of the Democrats' more powerful members, vice chairman of the powerful House Rules Committee, which has broad jurisdiction over determining the terms and conditions known as special rules under which legislation is considered. Hastings plays a leading role in moving Democratic priorities through the legislative process. The committee also considers original jurisdiction measures, which commonly represent changes to the standing rules of the House or measures that contain special rules. As senior Democratic whip Mr. Hastings continues to be a leading voice in the Democratic caucus, underscoring his commitments to work closely on a bipartisan basis with his colleagues in both the House and the Senate. He is also co-chairman of the Congressional Everglades Caucus, and in addition, as dean and co-chairman of the Florida delegation, Mr. Hastings works closely with his Florida colleagues on issues important to the state. Yeah, so good God. Yeah, so anyway, he was convicted, and convicted in the Senate and removed from office. But yeah, he's back. And by the way, you might say Hastings' ethical problems were a long time ago. Perhaps he's reformed, or perhaps he's the same corruptocrat he always was. This story is from the dark ages of 2019. Representative Alcee Hastings, Democrat, Florida, who is facing a House ethics probes for engaging in a relationship with a subordinate staff member, has been paying his girlfriend the highest salary among his staffers for nearly a decade, according to House disbursement records. Patricia Williams, Hastings' girlfriend of at least 25 years, has been a congressional staffer in his office for 27 years. Hastings has said in press reports. Library of Congress records show that Williams was an aide to Hastings from 2002 to 2006 before transitioning into a role as his bed wench. No, I did not say that out loud. No, I did not. From a role of the deputy district director, which she held from 2006 to 2018, she's now the district director. Hastings makes $174,000 a year as a congressman, and he pays Williams $168,411 million a year in 2018, the maximum congressional staff salary. So he pays her almost as much as he makes as a congressman. And that was more than Hastings' chief of staff at the time, Arthur W. Kennedy, made despite being Williams' boss. Yeah, so he paid he paid her more than he paid his boss on his own staff. Holy shit. Where is Hillary Clinton Hillary's in the chat? Where is Hillary Clinton in the chat? Oh, thank goodness. Good Lord, Hillary didn't get me. Okay. All right. Anyway, holy shit. And he also employs the woman's daughter in his Broward County, Florida office, according to the Free Beacon. Who does he think he is? Ilhan Omar? There's more, but you can read the rest. Also, we're wondering if Cori Bush will be stripped of her committee assignments after encouraging a prison riot. Did you hear about this? Irate Prostate, how you doing, my brother? Nice to see you. Cynical Lindsay, what's happening? Oh, I said hi to you early, didn't I? Well, if I didn't, I'm saying hi now, Lindsay. I think I did earlier, though. But Irate Prostate's here. Everyone say hi to Irate. More than 100 St. Louis inmates erupted into a prison riot Saturday, flooding the detention facility, smashing windows and launching items out of the buildings from several stories high, including chairs, mattresses, and even a stationary bike. The explosive unrest came over inmate frustration related to pandemic restrictions that limited visits and stalled court proceedings. Jacob Long, a spokesman for the St. Louis mayor's office, estimated to the Associated Press about 115 inmates were involved in this weekend's chaos, describing them as extremely violent and non-compliant. Despite their destructive acts, a group found solace in their local representative, St. Louis area Democrat Representative Cori Bush. You might recognize her name because she's the one having a little spittle spattle with, what's her name? MTG. And she offered the riot her support on Twitter. She supported a riot in a prison. Here's what she said. A riot is the language of the unheard, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I want to talk to my constituents in the window. Their lives and their rights must be protected. My team and I are working to ensure the urgent needs of people who are incarcerated are not ignored. Well, that sounds like she's encouraging insurrection in a prison. I just say it, right? And then they're talking about how they stripped Marjorie Taylor Greene from committee assignments. It remains an open question now under Democrats' new standards whether Bush ought to remain on her committee. So anyway, you can read the rest of that. Let's see here. Impeach her for insurrection. Well, yeah, or something. Speaking of impeachment, I do have a copy of the brief. It'll be in the tabs today when I add those to the after the show. I always put all the links in the description down below and also in Discord. But here's kind of a synopsis. Trump's defense brief eviscerates the Democratic case for impeachment. On Monday, former President Donald Trump's lawyers, Bruce Castor and David Schoen, filed the official defense brief for his second impeachment trial, which begins Tuesday. The brief makes 5 powerful arguments for the president's acquittal, eviscerating the Democrats' case. Here's just the highlights. The Senate cannot try a private citizen for impeachment. It also argues Trump's First Amendment rights. Also, it will bolster the idea that Trump incited a riot or action. They can go to several incidents of where Democrats used very similar language, noting that the metaphorical use of terms like fight like hell is well established. And the brief cites examples of Democrat rhetoric that would constitute incitement by the standard of the impeachment article. Number 4, they are saying that he's not getting proper due process. They did not have any evidence introduced during the actual impeachment proceeding in the House of Representatives. In fact, they completed their choice to impeach in record time as far as history goes. And then also that the charges are structurally deficient. They argue that by charging multiple alleged wrongs in a single article, the House of Representatives have made it impossible to guarantee compliance with the constitutional mandate in Article 1, Section 3 that permits a conviction only by at least 2/3 of the members. The House charge fails by interweaving different allegations rather than breaking them into counts of alleged individual instances of misconduct. So by not putting the specific misconduct, they kind of, at least the Trump lawyers say that they shoot themselves in the foot. So anyway, you can read that entire article in the tabs later, after I put it in the description down below. And also, good morning to you. You're a ridiculous lunatic. How you doing? Moving on, PolitiFact. PolitiFact, the publication that argues that we need to have even more fact checking and more just basically, I'm trying to think of a new proverb. I've started a series on my YouTube channel called Proverbs for the Modern, what do I call it? Proverbs for Modern Times. And I was trying to think of one having to do with fact checkers because, I want to say that, what is it? Something like fact checkers want you to know the truth as long as it fits the narrative. That's a good one. Is that a pretty good proverb? Fact checkers want you to know the truth as long as it fits their narrative. That's a good one. I need to write that down. We'll have to read this later. Good morning, Jim Beam. How you doing? So anyway, they wrote reality about the left-wing activists inciting the Capitol riot. Now this guy, if you saw this guy, first they let him go and then they arrested him because he was not only was he taking video of the insurrection, he was actually encouraging it. He was encouraging bad behavior. A PolitiFact article written by Bill McCarthy declares there's no proof that a left-wing anti-Trump activist named John Sullivan incited rioting at the U.S. Capitol. As a result of this claim, Facebook flagged and reduced distribution of a post that accused Sullivan of doing so. However, video footage indisputably proves that Sullivan encouraged people to storm and vandalize the Capitol. Moreover, Sullivan was subsequently arrested and charged with violent entry and disorderly conduct on Capitol grounds and interfering with law enforcement during the riot. In the wake of these revelations, PolitiFact updated its article twice but has not changed its conclusion despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. The Facebook post targeted by PolitiFact states that, quote, anti-Trump founder of radical left-wing group Insurgents USA, John Sullivan, incited insurgents of the U.S. Capitol. PolitiFact claims there's no evidence that he incited the violence himself or led the charge into the Capitol. Even though there's video evidence. Well, you could say the same damn thing about Donald Trump. There's no evidence that he incited the violence himself or led the charge to the Capitol because, well, he didn't. Anyway, PolitiFact's first evidence for its conclusion is Sullivan's claim that he was not leading the mob in any shape, form, or fashion, and was only there to experience and witness what went down. PolitiFact then cites Jade Sacker, a photojournalist who has done work for NBC and NPR to back up his account. Sacker claims to have been with Sullivan for half of the riot and says that Sullivan was vocal and actively there and interested in what was going on, but not directing the charge. Hello, Attack Alpaca. Oh my gosh. Or inciting violence. However, law enforcement obtained videos from Sullivan himself that show him provoking and participating in the riot. As such, the FBI sought and was granted a warrant to arrest him per the affidavit. Other video footage Sullivan did, he yelled through a microphone outside of the Capitol, "Get in that shit, let's go, move, 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 storm that shit is ours, this is our fucking house." Also, he wore a ballistic vest and a gas mask as he entered the Capitol and declared, "Let's burn this shit down, we gotta get this shit burned, it's our house, motherfuckers." And then he also pointed his camera at the door and said, "Why don't we go in there?" After someone hit the door, Sullivan said, "That's what I'm saying. Break that shit." He also broke a window and said, "I broke it. My bad. My apologies." Well, they already broke a window. I didn't know I hit it that hard, but no one got that on camera. And then finally he joined a crowd of rioters that were trying to break through the door and said, "I have a knife. Let me through. I have a knife." Moreover, video showed that Jade Sacker, the photojournalist who PolitiFact used to exonerate Sullivan, was complicit in his plan. Sullivan video shows Sacker and him inside the Capitol saying to each other, "I'll give you a hug now. We did it." Sullivan laughs. "You're right. We did it. Dude, I was trying to tell you. I couldn't say much. You were right." Laughter. You just have to watch my chat. "Oh my God, is this not going to be the best film you ever made in your life?" "Yeah." "Nah, you got to give me a real kiss for that shit." "That's it? Hell yeah." Okay, whatever. So anyway, he was arrested and charged in federal court on several counts, and he's still in jail, I think. But according to PolitiFact, this is PolitiFact. In contrast to PolitiFact's claim that Sullivan calls to storm and burn down the Capitol don't constitute incitement, PolitiFact has not fact-checked any of the hundreds of congressional Democrats who declare their impeachment resolution that the president incited the riot. This in spite of the fact that Trump didn't call for violence and emphasized in his speech that on that same day that people should go to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make their voices heard. Yet the impeachment resolution alleges that Trump is guilty of inciting violence. So we know the rest. And then PolitiFact also, there's a couple other deceptions they do. You can read the rest of this article, but they rip PolitiFact to shreds in here. Thank you, Zach Osborne. Another donation through Streamlabs, very generous today. I appreciate you. Who says, "Nobody cares. Hillary Clinton, kill rate." Wait a minute. And he says to Hillary Clinton, "Kill irate prostate, but not just kill, like torture him, like light his ball hair on fire, but with matches, not a lighter." What exactly is going on in my chat? What the hell is that? I just don't know. Oh my goodness. I hope y'all are doing okay in there. Is Baked Alaska still missing? He got arrested. I thought they found him. The other two, I don't know if they, what's the guy, Ali? I don't know. Ali Akbar, he goes by on Twitter. I'm not sure if they caught him yet either. Anyone know? I'm not sure. Does anyone know if they caught Baked Alaska? I thought he got arrested though. Anyway. All right, let's move. Oh my goodness. What the hell is that going on? What we got going on there? I almost had to close the window. Well, I did close the window. Anyway, now also Democrats are threatening to punish Trump. This is a Breitbart article, so you know the bias there. Democrats threaten to punish Trump for not testifying at the impeachment trial. We read this Jamie Raskin's letter the other day. This is bullshit. You can't do that. Hillary is Richo. Oh, is Richo here? I haven't seen Richo yet. Okay, Richo, if you're here, how you doing? So Democrats reiterated on Monday a threat to punish former President Donald Trump for not testifying at the impeachment trial in the Senate, which begins Tuesday. In a short filing responding to Trump's lawyer's 75-page trial memorandum submitted Monday, the House impeachment managers, all Democrats handpicked by Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, wrote, quote, "The House has invited President Trump to voluntarily testify under oath. Yet President Trump immediately rejected that opportunity to tell a story. The House will establish at trial that this decision to avoid testifying supports a strong adverse inference regarding President Trump's action and inaction on January 6th. By the way, I haven't read the report today. I heard that when this stuff started happening, and I don't know, I can't confirm this, but I just read a snippet, was it this morning or maybe last night, that, you know how they're saying that the president didn't do anything about what was going on? I've heard that there was an order that the president made to the Secretary of Defense, and the Secretary of Defense put it off. I wouldn't say he disobeyed, just put it off for a little while. So that also would make this story, at least the narrative, be very different. Democrats were responding to Trump's lawyers' claim that Democrats rushed impeachment, which defied all previous procedural conventions governing impeachment in the House, denied the president the constitutional due process of law. The Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution provides that no person shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without the due process of law. The impeachment trial is not a criminal case, however. Many constitutional scholars argue that the same principles ought to apply there. Yeah. When Representative Jamie Raskin wrote to Trump's lawyers last week inviting Trump to testify, he made a similar threat. If you decline this invitation, we will reserve any and all rights, including the right to establish at trial that your refusal to testify supports a strong adverse inference regarding your actions and or inactions on January 6th. So there's a little bit of back and forth between lawyers and people smarter than me about whether or not Trump should have to testify, whether or not Fifth Amendment provisions are provided in an impeachment trial, which you would think they would. It's a trial, even though it's not a court trial. You'd think that it'd be the same, but I don't know. Moving on, Kamala Harris joked about, this is a flashback, Kamala Harris joked about killing Trump, Pence, and Jeff Sessions. Remember this? Seeing as Trump has been impeached because his rhetoric allegedly incited a riot on the U.S. Capitol in January, it seems appropriate to point out instances where Democrats have used violent rhetoric and demanded equal justice for it. In 2018, Senator Kamala Harris appeared on the Ellen DeGeneres Show. Aw, that's such a cute show. During which DeGeneres asked a series of random questions from cards. It was upbeat and all in the name of humor, but things got seriously dark when DeGeneres asked, quote, if you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be? Does one of us have to come out alive? Harris asked, then laughed hysterically. Here it is. This is Kamala Harris joking.
If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be? Does one of us have to come out alive?
Oh my God, that laugh. I want to kill myself. But you know what would be funny? That should be one of my sound bites. That would be torture for you guys, wouldn't it? Would it just be torture if I put this as a soundbite? Oh my gosh. Can we do it again?
I'm not alive.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I can't help it.
If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike...
Okay, I'll stop. I can't do it anymore. Anyway, I think she should be impeached. Oh, wait, she wasn't in office when this happened. Well, maybe she should be Well, never mind. Anyway, let me get a couple more in here before we go. Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez says she will not apologize for saying that Ted Cruz tried to have her murdered. Now, she literally... FTGP dog. Sorry. Oh, wouldn't that be great? Yes. Tyler F says this is some Gitmo level shit. Wouldn't that be perfect to torture the prisoners at Gitmo with? Okay, you shouldn't torture prisoners, but you know what I mean? Hello, Lesser Logic. All right, Democratic New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said she will not apologize for saying that Republican Senator Ted Cruz almost got her murdered during the January 6th Capitol riot. No, not only did she not apologize, she denies that she even said it. She denies that she even said it. And here it is. This is her saying that's not the quote. Now, look, they might have got the quote a little bit wrong. Thank you, Zach Osborne, who says, how long until the Miss Me Yet memes? Right? Hang on here. So here, listen to this.
Ted Cruz tweeted that he tried to have you murdered at Capitol riot.
So that's not the quote.
Okay.
And,
it's not the
and
quote.
I will not apologize for what I said.
Guys, I think we're actually done this morning. Thank you.
Wait, what? Let's hear this again.
Ted Cruz tweeted that he tried to have you murdered at Capitol riot.
So that's not the quote.
Okay.
And I will not apologize for what I said.
Okay, so she's saying that, he may have said it not exactly the same, but her actual words, okay, they answered the question. She said, that is not the quote, and I will not apologize. Well, wait a minute. Wait just one damn minute. Where is it here? Oh, did they not put the quote in here? Because Cruz sent a tweet to Ocasio-Cortez saying he agrees with her that the popular investing app Robinhood needs to explain its decision to block retail investors from purchasing certain stock. The New York Democrat responded by telling Cruz if he wants to help, he should resign from the Senate and that he almost had her murdered. She said that. So 13 Republican lawmakers joined Representative Chip Roy in demanding Ocasio-Cortez apologize for her comments to Cruz. Here's her quote. I'm happy to work with Republicans on this issue where there is common ground, but you almost had me murdered 3 weeks ago, so you can sit this one out. Happy to work with almost any other GP that aren't trying to get me killed. Wow, that's kind of sounds like she said that he almost had her murdered. She said it. I know it was a tweet too. It wasn't. It was tweet, but she tweeted. She said it twice, 2 different times. So I don't know. Kind of sounds like she said it. Apparently, Kamala Harris's niece, has somehow exacerbated an international incident with the Indian government. Okay, I'm not really sure what this is about. Yeah, but no one is allowed to interfere in India's internal affairs. The niece of Vice President Kamala Harris seemingly causes a bigger and bigger headache for the Biden administration to have to contend with on a weekly basis, as they now have to deal with an international issue that she helped fuel. Far less activist Mina Harris has already caused issues for the new Biden administration surrounding her attempts at leveraging her relationship with her aunt to advance her own interests. Now, she did write a book that came out prior to Kamala Harris becoming the vice presidential candidate, and that was like its sales went up a little bit after the inauguration. But anyway, but she also has caused a bit of an issue for the Biden administration to have to deal with when it comes to India, after she has waded into India's internal politics surrounding protests sparked by Prime Minister Narendra Modi's recent agricultural reforms. Politico reported her series of posts have helped provoke backlash from the Indian government and some of its supporters, adding an unexpected wrinkle to U.S.-India relationships, just as Biden is seeking to engage with the country's leaders. So, and I don't know, it's the Indian people are not happy with her. Thank you, Selected Boy. Yeah, for the super chat through YouTube. Says, you ever see you ever see a woman backpedal so fast like AOC? Yeah, she really did. I mean, and I don't know why she's claiming she didn't say that. You said it. You said it. Yeah, whatever. So here it is. Weird to see a photo of yourself burned by an extremist mob, but imagine what they would do if we lived in India. I tell you, 23-year-old labor rights activist Nodeep Kaur was arrested, tortured, and sexually assaulted in police custody. She's been detained without bail for 28 days. The Indian people are not happy with the sibling of Kamala Harris. All right, I'm running out of time here. Let me see if there's any that I did. Oh, the last House race has officially gone Republican. So just to tally, in a year where Donald Trump loses the election to Joe effing Biden, the Republicans flipped 15 House seats. Pretty amazing. So apparently this Anthony Brindisi finally conceded. Remember, that's the race. I think that's the race where the lawyer for Brindisi was going to argue that the voting machines were not accurate. After all this stuff about voting machines, a Democrat candidate was going to argue against voting machines. The jokes write themselves, I got to tell you. But that article's there. Also, there's two articles about the Time magazine story, which maybe we'll get back to later. But one of them in the American Thinker here, entitled "Destroying Democracy in Order to Save It." It's a synopsis on the Time article. The other one too here is anti-Trump election conspiracy goes public because Time magazine provides a full confession. If you haven't read, I think I put the Time article in tabs the other day, but if I have time, I'll do a standalone video about it. But man, my time is very limited right now. All right, let's see. Let me finish up here. Paul Manafort can't be. They were going to try to do state charges against Paul Manafort in the state of New York. And apparently a judge has ruled that he cannot, because he has already been, he was convicted, but he was also pardoned by President Trump, and the state of New York has been, because, Letitia James is a vindictive, she's a vindictive, that word that starts with C. C is for cookie. That's good enough for me. Cookie is another name I was thinking about. She is a vindictive cookie. Anyway, they can't prosecute him. The judges ruled double jeopardy. So Paul Manafort will not be prosecuted in the state of New York. Ilhan Omar paid her husband a shit ton of money as a consultant for a campaign. In fact, his company received $3.7 million from political committees this past cycle, but Omar's campaign was by far its biggest moneymaker. It only got checks for $2.9 million. There's you can read that, but there's now legislation that's saying that you can't pay any more relatives to be consultants on your campaign, which I like. Yeah, because Nancy Pelosi has kids doing her campaign. Maxine Waters is paying her daughter on her campaign. There's lawmakers. I don't think it's going to go anywhere because too many powerful Democrats pay family members to be part of their campaign. But yeah. And this is the husband that she married after she cheated on her other husband, and he was cheating on his wife, and they were hooking up, and then they got divorced, and now they're married, and she's married to a white guy. He's pretty fly for a white guy. Anyway, thank you, Zach Osborne, for another generous donation through Streamlabs, saying, asking AOC why she lies is like asking Vosh or Hassan about pedophilia. Oh God, deflect. Holy shit, who is that? Anyway, all right. So, I didn't have that on the screen very well, did I? There's. If you want to see Ilhan and her man looking all, what is it called? Not droopy-eyed, doe-eyed, I guess. Anyway, all right. Let me finish up here. Justice Department is asking. Biden wants to fire all of. What the hell did I do there? The Justice Department is asking all Trump-appointed U.S. attorneys to resign, except for two. One of them is John Durham, who's is a special counsel right now, and one other. But this is, I would like to say that this is unusual, but it's really not. It's happened before. The Justice Department is expected to ask U.S. attorneys appointed by former President Donald Trump to resign this week amid ongoing personnel transition between the Trump and Biden administration. Doing it awfully early, though. That's the weird thing about it. There are 94 U.S. attorneys currently serving the federal districts across the country. 25 are currently in acting positions after a number of Trump appointees resigned before President Joe Biden's inauguration. But, yes, Reese Donald, and hello, yes, she did remarry. She married that guy, so go figure. This is what I want you to read. I don't have time, but the Democrats just reintroduced a labor law that would destroy Uber, and it could actually pass this time. This is that law they passed in California. They want to do it federally, which kind of screws up people who are like independent contractors of bigger companies. This is bad. This is a bad idea. It's called the PRO Act, and it's a case study, unintended consequences. I would read this article. It's by Brad Palomo. It'll be in the tabs. Maybe I'll touch on it tomorrow, but it's one of those things. Anyway, wait, sorry to get real. Oh, I don't know. Also, Biden cancels. I didn't know this, but while not only are they investigating Elon Musk, if you heard the story last week that he's being investigated by the Labor Department for, get this, not hiring a person because of their legal status in the United States. A foreigner who doesn't have the right work visa. They asked him the question and didn't hire him, and now he's got it. He's being sued for discrimination. Well, also apparently, they have temporarily. Hang on a second. Temporarily, revoked whatever permits and legal stuff he needs to be able to launch his space rockets that he's testing. And I don't know why they've decided suddenly to fuck with Elon Musk, but that's going to be an interesting battle. But you can read about that. Also, lockdowns are breaking our kids and the damage may be permanent. I saw this article this morning, and it made me remind me of someone's tweet I responded to, because they were talking about the guy, the congressman from Texas who just died. And the person I was mentioning on Twitter was dunking on him because he had actually tweeted from his hospital bed that the CDC says it's okay for kids to go back to school as long as they take some certain precautions. And then the man dies from COVID. But when I say dies from COVID, the man has been battling lung cancer for 3 years. And now he, in the last, however long, few months, he contracted COVID. But it's the same guy who'd been fighting lung cancer since 2018. So anyway, someone was kind of dunking on them for that. I'm like, really? He was a 67-year-old man who'd been battling lung cancer for 3 years who died with COVID. And I emphasize the word with COVID. Are we that cynical that we just, we're going to dunk on someone who dies because he tells you what the CDC says? Isn't that the science? The CDC is the science, right? So anyway, he's probably going to be pissed off that I even brought it up. But hey, that's the science, that schools can open safely. Hell, the school I coach at's been open for months now. And that's in Minnesota, where they tried to shut down the schools. Now, also, this is, oh, God. I'll skip this one. Maybe I'll definitely do this one. Some professional organization of the, the American Political Science Association released a statement encouraging both sides of the political spectrum to do better. But the statement was deemed too controversial to many APSA members, prompting the professional organization to release a revised statement a few days later. Just an embarrassment and cancel kind of culture and whatnot. It'll, whatever. You can read it. I might check it out tomorrow. And then finally, I'm going to finish up. These two articles, let's see. Oh, Coach Marty Schottenheimer died. Legendary coach of the Kansas City Chiefs for a long time. Rest in peace, Marty Schottenheimer. Also in the tabs, the actual full 75-page brief that the Trump lawyers sent to the Senate. And then finally, when we're talking, Tom Brady won the Super Bowl, and there's talk of him being the greatest of all time, of the greatest of all time, including Jordan and Gretzky and Serena Williams and whoever else you could think of, Michael Phelps and whatnot. But I have evidence of perhaps the greatest, and I mean greatest, athlete of all time. And I'm gonna just bring it up right here. Here he is, the greatest of all time. I mean of all times ever. Yes, Dick Weber Jr. Here he is. He will let you know. Here it is.
Strike to claim it. A strike to claim it.
Strike to win, and he goes. He wins it.
Are you kidding me? That's right. Who do you think you are? I am. Get it right.
Yes. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it is actually time for me to get the hell out of Dodge. Thank you so much for coming and joining me today on the Morning Night Live. I am here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central for your news and entertainment. Yes, I tell you the stories first because I'm the only one up doing streams this time of the morning. So I greatly appreciate you coming out and joining me on these fine days. I hope you enjoyed the show today. And I just want to thank you, all the people doing the donations. Zach, Superstar Donor of the Day.
You are the new Streamlabs
And,
Superstar Donor of the Day.
And also just for those of you who come and join the chat, or if you lurk in the background, or if you watch after this fact. By the way, if you watch after the fact, or even if you don't watch after the fact, come back and throw a comment in the comment section. I guess that's part of the new thing now that they like. Hello, Jason Arnold. And then we'll see you tomorrow, I hope. Thank you, everybody. It is time for me to go. Zach is drunk. Good job, Zach. That is fantastic. So I do got to go. Thanks, everybody. My name is Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.